millions of people watching. When I do play, you know, like when I play in tonight's game, I'm one game closer to retirement.
The quest for 1,000 is over. Chris Carter making the catch in the corner of the end zone. Career grab number 1,000. And the emotion and love poured forth from 65,000 on hand tonight, including his biggest fan, his wife, Melanie. Special moment for them, everyone here, and a national television audience. And we're just delighted we could share it.
Kind of neat, man.
Yeah, sure was. Now they've accomplished that goal. What they have ahead of them is becoming the first team to clinch a playoff spot. A win tonight would do just that and would give them a big 3-game lead in the division.
And I think they have to try and put Detroit away in this quarter. I don't think you can let them hang around and, you know, maybe move the ball, maybe make a play. Denny Green's offense has got to get on track right now and try and put them away.
Considering their injury situation, it's amazing that the Lions are only down by 14. They've lost Charlie Batch. 3/4 of their starting secondary is gone. Troy Walters from the goal line. Across the 20. Moments ago, our Solomon Wilcots had a chance to talk with Lions coach Gary Moeller.
Coach, for Charlie Batch out with the rib injury, how prepared is Stoney Gates to run the offense, and do you try to do anything differently with him?
Well, no, we reduce it a little bit because the second-year guy, second-team guy doesn't know everything. You know, we have to reduce it a little bit. But we can play better. We're going to play better. Our kids have given a good effort. We just got to be a little smarter.
Okay, thanks. Back up to you, Ryan.
All right, Solomon, thanks very much. Gary Moeller has not lost a game as the Lions head coach, replacing Bobby Ross. He is 3-0, but he's down 14 in this one. Robert Smith hit at the line of scrimmage and swallowed up by James Jones.
Well, the other thing about Gary Moeller, when he first got the job, because of his college references, he started referring to the veterans as upperclassmen. And now you look at his secondary, and he's got a bunch of sophomores out there, if you put it in those terms.
And maybe a redshirt freshman. That's Darnell Walker. He's in his 8th year. He's an upperclassman. Kywin Supernaw in his 3rd year. He'd be the redshirt freshman. Culpepper with plenty of time. Completes it to Johnny McWilliams, and Stephen Boyd, the middle linebacker, made the tackle, but it's a gain of 19.
Boy, Dante Culpepper has all the weapons, the wide receivers. You got a running back, Robert Smith, and then when everything else is covered, why not just dump it over the middle to Johnny McWilliams, your tight end, who happens to be wide open. There's Stephen Boyd making a tackle, but that's a first down.
Been a brilliant job so far by that front line of the Minnesota Vikings in protecting Culpepper. Wants the screen, but it's shut down. So Culpepper takes off. Pushed out of bounds by Alan Aldridge. Take a look at the first couple stats, and they're a little surprising. Much closer than you would expect in the 17-3 game. Actually, the total yards only 24 yards apart, but those 2 Lions turnovers and a great play by Troy Walters on a kick.
And when you think about the Vikings this year, they're a football team that has had to play 4 quarters, and it's really been the big play that has given them the opportunities. And that one came on a special teams play so far in this game.
2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, and Smith the setback behind Culpepper. Robert Smith will get the carry, and he's nailed. Couldn't get out of the backfield. Claiborne came through a gap to make the stop.
You know, over the last 5 seasons of the Detroit Lions, when they've lost the turnover battle, in 5 seasons, they're 1-27.
Not good.
Well, they've given it up twice tonight. Minnesota, nothing.
Of course, if you want to look on the bright side, that one was against the Vikings.
Larry Peccatello just masterfully trying to move people around and make calls to get his players in position when he's short his starters.
Porcher was out a few plays earlier. He was hurt. 3rd and 10 for the Vikings. Culpepper again with good protection, throws incomplete. The only guy within 15 yards was Alan Aldridge, and I don't think he was the intended receiver.
Now, Randy Moss was, but he was running towards the end zone.
Randy Moss broke the pattern because he felt he had one-on-one, and this is a liberty that he's given. If he thinks he can get on top, he will try and take somebody one-on-one. In this case, it's Walker. See, he just sort of partially throws his hand in the air. That's usually an indicator, but Dante wasn't ready for it. And Aldridge couldn't quite get up high enough.
Berger launches one into the end zone. He just crushed it from 58 yards from the goal line, knocked it into the end zone, and the Lions will start from their 20 when we come back. Lead in the NFC Central, clinch a playoff spot, and get ever so close to home field advantage. They would go to 11-2. And Detroit would fall 3 games back after losing the season series to the Vikings. Stewart cuts it back. Across the 25 to the 28. Let's go to Solomon Wilcox, the original scrambler, Fran Tarkenton.
Yeah, Mike, Hall of Fame quarterback Fran Tarkenton is also a member of the Vikings' 40th anniversary team. And Fran, I understand you don't make it a habit to get out to too many functions. What compelled you to do so tonight?
This is home. I played the first game the Vikings played 40 years ago, 1961. It's good to come back for this.
Well, you played with some great players during your 13 seasons here in Minnesota. What do you think it would be like, and how much fun would it be to throw passes to Chris Carter and Randy Moss?
Good, but I had Ahmad Rashad and Sammy White, and they were pretty good.
And you were pretty good also. Let's send it back to you, Mike.
All right, thanks, Solomon. Schlesinger will get the first down for the Lions.
A lot of us little guys owe Fran Tarkenton an awful lot because, you know, people said you're too small to play in this game. He wasn't.
Culpepper has just eliminated one of Tarkenton's records from the Viking history book. He has rushed for 381 yards this year. Tarkenton had held a record of 376. Also at second place in 361.
And quarterbacks have run for more yards this year, over 5,000 than any time in history already.
Stewart. And you know what the Lions are feeling? We need to grind this out. Get good field position, pick up a field goal here, a touchdown there. We're right in the ball game. Maybe something will happen.
They need a touchdown. They don't need any field goals. I'll tell you the one thing about today earlier is watching Joe with Fran Tarkenton. Spent a lot of time with Fran. You know why? Because he's taller than Fran. He's the only other quarterback. You're taller than. And Joe said, come on, hang around with me for a while. Let's walk around down on the field.
Gary Moeller over on the sidelines telling his defensive guys, you know, hang in there. We'll make a play.
2nd and 6 for Detroit. Morton reached behind him to make the catch. Johnny Morton to the 49. Great pair of hands there. Peyton made the tackle. Let's take you back to the 60s when they played at Old Metropolitan Stadium. Francis Tarkenton. He would drive guys crazy. And he ran to throw the ball, always looking downfield.
Fear is a great motivator.
Case blitz coming. Throws another completion. This time to Foster, is seeing more and more action as the season rolls along. Kenny Wright, who was in at a starting corner because they cut Chris Dishman.
I'll tell you what's happening. This offensive line, they're giving him lanes to throw the ball. Look at Stoney Case step back. Now watch, he's got a lane to throw the ball. Here's Foster. He picks up 8 yards on the play. But this offensive line, what a great job they're doing.
The other thing I like to see is he's throwing the ball with some pace and some zip. The one interception he threw sort of hung up in the middle.
They have reached the Viking 43. First down. Check it. Second down. Case again. Can't get away from Randall. John Randall got him at the 45-yard line.
Oh, John Randall gets to the outside, and Stoney Case really has no place to go. Look at John Randall. You talk about hustling, watch his speed. Now he sees he's got a quarterback. Watch him close.
Yeah, if I'm going to run a bootleg, it's not going to be a John Randall. Talking to John about Chris Carter, you know, he said Chris Carter is the captain of our football team, and people want me to take a captain's role. He says, no, I'm just a sergeant. I let Chris designate to me to take care of my guys on the line.
It's a sack for John Randall, an undrafted free agent out of Texas A&M. Pace. Intended for Foster, incomplete. Kenny Wright was there.
John Randall. Boy, you just love to watch the energy he plays with. Here he comes on the outside, and he's had to learn to play in up against Barrett Brooks. You see the pressure, making Stoney Case get rid of the football.
So the Lions have to kick it away after driving from their own 20. Walters trying to throw a block and does a good job and allows the ball to kick into the end zone, a 44-yard punt, but a net of only 24. The Vikings remain in control at home. They're up 17-3. $7:49 to go, third quarter. The Vikings on top of the Lions here at the Metrodome, 17-3, and the Vikings will take over at their own 20. Randy Moss, a quiet night. Human numbers, 3 catches, only 26 yards. Can it last? Smith, 5-6 yards until Boyd helps bring him down. Normally what he has done against this division, not indicated by those earlier stats, 3 catches for 26 yards, he has eaten the NFC Central alive, averaging 100 yards a game and nearly 19 yards a catch. That's in 22 games.
About 23 touchdowns in 22 games.
The only man since 1967 to average 100 yards against conference opponents. Culpepper scramble against division opponents, excuse me. Claiborne knocks Culpepper out of bounds. And you see when he scrambles how that size is a benefit.
It's such a benefit.
You get hit by somebody like Alan Aldridge or a Claiborne, and you just sort of slide out of bounds.
He was tied coming in with Rich Gannon for rushing first downs with 28. He's already had 2 tonight. But this is the versatility that he brings. Mike, you talk about the size. He's also quite quick. And he heads out of bounds and just bounces off a linebacker.
Smith made a couple of nice cuts to pick up 4. Robert Porcher and Chris Claiborne on the tackle.
I think Robert Porcher is a little quiet. Well, he's got Corey Stringer blocking on him, but down that last play, Robert Porcher just really did a good job. He held up Corey Stringer, and he had to try to find Robert Smith. It's very hard to hold up a guy that's bigger than you are. Watch Robert Porcher here when he's just on Corey Stringer. It's just unbelievable. Here he is, Corey Stringer, 77. Look at this. He's trying to find Robert Smith. He goes back to the outside, and it ends up making the tackle. Good play.
Robert Porcher only 2 sacks short of Bubba Baker's all-time Lions record. Smith. He runs so hard for his 215 pounds.
The thing about Robert Smith is he'll do this in a game. He'll go 14, 15 carries, and then all of a sudden, wham, right through the line, 60 yards, put a spike in your heart. He did it against Chicago in a game that we had.
And he has just passed Edgerrin James for the NFL lead in rushing, up to 1,325 yards. One of the big reasons he's been healthy this year. Culpepper scrambles. Stephen Boyd pinned him at the 45, but he's got the first down. Scroggins got a hand on a leg, but Culpepper's so strong and so agile.
He just showed you how strong he is. That's the thing that Joe was talking about. You've got a guy that's 266 pounds running with the football going forward, and you're going to try and stop him? I don't think so. Watch this. 97 is Tracy Scroggins, and he's not that small either. And look at Culpepper pick up the first down. That's strength.
6'4", 266. He is the modern prototype for a quarterback. Joe, what were you as a rookie?
I was a toy model. A miniature.
Culpepper all day. For Moss, way underthrown. Corwin Brown with the interception.
Now that's just a case of Dante Culpepper thinking that he has superhuman abilities to throw the ball down the field.
The Lions get a turnover, and they'll have it when we come back. It's the Hennepin Avenue Bridge in Minneapolis, and those overhead shots are provided by the Yahoo Sports Aerial Cam. Stewart, the deep man in the eye, they take over at the 3. Trying to get a little operating room, and Stewart gives them more than that all the way out to the 11. Let's go to Solomon Wilcots.
Yeah, Mike, I'm joined by another Vikings great, former running back, Chuck Foreman. And, Chuck, you held the Vikings all-time leading rushing record for 22 years, and Robert Smith comes along and breaks the record. But understand, you were rooting for him all along.
Actually, I certainly was. Robert had 2 reconstructive knee surgeries, and he's been a phenomenal running back the last 4 or 5 years, and he deserves that record. I'm glad he's the guy that broke it. He is truly not only a great player, but a great person, and that's what makes it special.
So much has been said about Red McCombs bringing all the old players back and creating a sense of family here. Give me your impressions of what it's been like this past week with all the celebrations going on.
Well, it's been a great event, of course. Red McCombs, what can we say about him? He came in here and he brought us back into the family. Before, it felt like we were kicked out. But now we're back in, and he understands the history of the Vikings. He understands my teammates over here and myself. We're a part of the tradition. And to bring that back to give us the honors that he gave us today, I think is truly tells us what kind of a man he is.
All right, Chuck. Well, thanks for joining us. Let's go back up to you, Mike.
All right, Solomon, thanks very much. And Stewart, again, runs into his own man and gets it up to the 18-yard line. And it goes to show you what a guy like Red McCombs can do. A true gentleman, a man that comes in here and buys his football team, gives them what they need to have, and just changes the atmosphere totally.
I know, and we've talked a lot about what Red's team has done in the Vikings and Dennis Green, what he's done as a coach. But I'll tell you, the Detroit Lions are showing a lot of mettle. They're making plays. They haven't allowed the Vikings to get any big plays in this game other than on the kick return. They're coming out of the end zone now, putting some first downs together.
They're doing it without their starting quarterback, Charlie Batch, who re-injured his ribs. Stoney Case at the helm, and Case completes this one to Morton, and Morton will have a first down up the 27-yard line. ESPN Sunday Night Football at 8:30 Eastern, featuring the NFL's oldest and most storied rivalry. Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers head to Soldier Field to battle rookie sensation Brian Urlacher and the Chicago Bears. Coverage starts at 7:30 with prime time.
First and 10.
Well,
Oh,
it's got to be a small group.
and did you have them in English class?
Yes, I did.
You were in the class with them.
Case, a quick out, incomplete intended from Morton.
One of the things Detroit's been doing this whole night, and we're got the Chris Carter thing going, and all the 40th anniversary team back here. But this Detroit team, Joe, they just keep moving the ball down the field. And if they get one break and one big play, they're within the touchdown of the Minnesota Vikings. They just have not been able to put the complete drive together. They've gone 40, 50, 60 yards, but that's about it.
Sly Kroom, the offensive coordinator, longtime assistant to Bobby Ross. Stoney Case cut down at the 31. Speaking of owners, William Clay Ford of the Lions said something very nice this week. He said, if Bobby Ross is sitting at home watching the game, I hope he feels like he's still part of this, because he is. I thought that was a very classy thing for Mr. Ford to say. Signed Gary Moeller to a 3-year contract. The Lions on third down have been brutal. 1 for 7.
I think this
right now they face 3rd and 6.
And I think this is where Herman Moore, Herman Moore can be like a Chris Carter for this offense. You got to give him a chance to make the play for you.
4-man rush. Case has the completion. Johnny Morton makes the catch up at the 49. There's a marker down on the play. Back at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be an illegal shift. So they finally hit on a third down, only their second tonight, and it comes back.
Illegal shift on the offensive team. Number 86 was going in motion as a defender was going down. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
I don't think he meant the defender going down.
I think he
meant an offensive lineman going down.
That's David Sloan, the tight end. I don't know what a defender would have to do with it, but just a little misstep there.
It's all in the terminology, Mike.
Yes, it is. Now it's 3rd and 11 for the Lions. Under a minute to go, third quarter. Case, Morton, can he get the first down? Lost the ball. Now they're going to say it's down. There's no fumble. Larry Foster made the catch, struggles for extra yardage, but can't get there. Nearly lost the football. Quite an effort by the rookie out of LSU.
Again, comes up just a little bit short, trying to work for the extra yards. Thibodeau comes up, makes the hit on him. Now, if I'm the Vikings, I'm going to throw that little red flag out, or I'm going to hit the buzzer.
They did.
I'm going to do something to let them know we'd like to take a look at that.
From the initial replay, I thought his knee was down when the ball came loose. But it's worth a shot because this could certainly turn the game around.
Not only is it worth a shot, but it's going to be overturned, and I do believe the Vikings will get possession of the ball. Watch how he makes the play now. See, his knee never hits the ground. His arm keeps him up.
On the field was that the player was down by contact. That is not a reviewable play. Fourth down.
That is a shame. And I really feel like they have to do something. That down by contact has basically replaced the whistle.
The inadvertent
whistle. They just changed the terminology. There's no question that this is a fumble. There's absolutely no question. And I don't know why the official would blow the whistle that quickly and call him down by contact.
Joe, you were absolutely right. That was a fumble, and now Jett will punt it away. Walters, poor kick by Jett, but it gets a great bounce. Somehow it stayed in bounds a long time. So the Lions get a break on the no call on the fumble, and then they get a break on a 56-yard punt. But the Vikings still lead it.
Physically was...
Dan Patrick and Steve Levy standing by with SportsCenter. Can the Saints deal with success? The other top stories of the day. They'll be along after our broadcast. Robert Smith. Great cutback up to the 20. There is a marker down back at the 12-yard line. In the area usually reserved for holding, and that's what it will be. So Smith loses a big carry.
David Dixon, number 71, held hands up in disgust.
Holding. Offense number 71. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat. First down.
So the Vikings will be in an even bigger hole when we start the fourth quarter from the Metrodome. Back after this. This ESPN NFL Thursday Night Special is brought to you by Land Rover. Come see what a Land Rover is made of. In the Twin Cities of Minneapolis, St. Paul under the Metrodome.
Well, in that third quarter, the Minnesota Vikings, 11 plays is all they had. 3 passes, 1 was intercepted, and 8 runs.
They have become very conservative. Culpepper under pressure. Intercepted. Picked up by Alan Aldridge. The second turnover, the second pick for Dante Culpepper.
Sometimes all you see is the interception, but you don't see the effort of Tracy Stroggins making him do that. Number 55, Alan Aldridge, has been close a couple times. There he is. You're going to see him go back into coverage. And Dante's going to get grabbed just as he tries to get rid of it. Scroggins comes in, hanging all over him. Nice catch. Nice job. Now put the ball away, Allen.
And this is critical for the Lions. They need a touchdown. Their defense has picked them up all year long with the turnover. They lead the NFL. Play action by Case. Inside the 5. Got away from Robert Griffith, but not John Randall.
Good decision. They went with the play action, tried to sell it. One receiver route. Doesn't get a chance to feel like he can let it go, and then pulls it down. There's the play action. Johnny Morton in the middle, trying to hook back up. Really bracketed, and Stoney does a good job. Now who else has he got? Maybe James Stewart. Can you throw it back across your body? Don't do it. Good decision.
Stewart to the goal line. Touchdown.
Oh, man.
What a block by Schlesinger.
Oh, Schlesinger. I mean, he went up in the hole, and James Stewart knew exactly where to go. Number 30 is Corey Schlesinger, and watch him block. He's got one job, to get to the end zone. Kylie Wong, number 52, is there, and he just knocks him out of the hole, and this is a touchdown. What a beautiful play.
Schlesinger out of Nebraska throws the key block. Stewart gets the touchdown, his 9th rushing touchdown of the season, and Hansen can make it a 7-point game.
The kick is good.
Stewart with the score. The Lions are back in it, and Tracy Scroggins was one of the guys who set it up with his rush.
NHL Tonight, Tuesday through Saturday on ESPN2.
And the fumble that wasn't really helped here in the fourth quarter as Larry Foster caught a pass, struggling for extra yards to get the first down. The replay shows conclusively that the ball came loose before his knees touched down. It would have been Vikings football deep in Detroit territory, but they ruled down by contact.
And the officials have been asked not to try and blow the whistle in such a hurry.
Then after the turnover, Stewart, on Alan Aldridge's interception, gets the touchdown. Hansen with a kick. Walter bobbles it. He'll keep it there. So the Vikings, who have seemingly dominated this game from the very start and had the huge celebration for Carter's 1,000th catch, are in a game. Minnesota Vikings need a win tonight to become the first NFL team to clinch a playoff spot. It is now problematic. Their second turnover of the ballgame has let the Lions back in, and it's only a 7-point game.
You know, everybody got caught up in Chris Carter getting 1,000 catches. He got 1,001, and they haven't thrown the ball to him since he caught that one. I think you better go back to Chris Carter.
And when you look at the Detroit Lions and how they won 8 games before tonight, they've done it scoring touchdowns on short fields. When they've had the opportunity, they put it in. They did it against the Giants. We saw it again on Thanksgiving Day. This has been the way the Giants have played, a full 60 minutes of football. Excuse me, the Lions have played.
Let's see how the Vikings can respond now that they have been challenged here in the fourth quarter. 13:52 to go in the ballgame. Paul Pepper wants to throw on first down, has it batted down in his face by Porsche. Robert Porsche having an impact here in the second half.
Robert Porsche getting Corey Stringer to back up a little bit, using the bull rush. Then when he knows he can't get there, jumps up in the air. I really believe the Vikings have to have one major thing happen. They've got to get Chris Carter involved back in this game, and they've got to try and make a big play with Randy Moss.
Smith cuts it back, runs into traffic, taking down to 22. Kywin Supernaw made the tackle.
The reason I say that is you know that this secondary of the Detroit Lions is decimated. I mean, they've got second and third string guys in there. Guys that play nickel are now playing starting corners. You know, you've got Darnell Walker at one corner, 5'8", Terry Fair at the other, Lamar Campbell. I mean, you've got guys that don't play a lot, and you're playing right into their hands by just running the football.
They're missing 3 of the 4 starters. Westbrook was hurt tonight early in the ballgame. Schultz and Rice were already injured. Big third down here. Culpepper throws. Walsh has it at the 34.
Young quarterbacks tend to lock into receivers, but not this one. He plays like a veteran. Looks over the field, waits for the receiver to settle in the hole, and then makes the delivery.
Have a couple of nice possession receivers on this club. Walsh and Hatchett. Really a compliment to the big guys on the outside. Smith, here comes the blitz. He runs right through the hole created by it across midfield. Ball comes loose. Did they rule it dead? They did. A gain of 19 for Smith.
Boy,
Detroit gambled, and they left a big hole there, Paul.
Oh, that was a great job. James Jones gets smothered, and that's where the hole opens up. And when they knock him out of the hole, look at number 98 is James Jones. See him, he takes himself out. Not only does he take himself out, but Matt Burke, the center, number 78, just takes him down the line. They get excellent blocking right at the point of attack, and then Robert Smith is already in the secondary.
Well, if you're going to run a stunt like that, somebody better fill that hole.
Let me tell you, that was another fumble that wasn't called.
Mo Williams to give Smith a breather.
I'd like to
take a look at it.
I'm going to show you. This was another fumble that was ruled down by contact. Watch this. He gets hit. There he is, up in the air. They come in and try and strip it away. That ball is out. That is a fumble. And these officials are not doing a very good job of letting the players play football. Those calls should not be missed by officials.
Well, that one is really hard to see.
This crew gets a D- as far as I'm concerned if you want to rate them tonight.
Give them an F.
No. They're still working, so I can't count them out completely.
2 huge balls, one that went the way of each team. Culpepper throws it behind. A receiver nearly picked again, and a flag is down. Scott Kolwakowski nearly had that interception, and the signal is a hold against Minnesota.
Holding, offense, number 63, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Corbin Lucina, number 63. Shake his head no. Yes, Corbin. Yes. Narity. All right, look at it. Here's the guy that throws the flag. Corbin Lucina, number 63. On the right of your screen, you think this isn't holding? Look at his arms around his neck. That's James Jones. And he's the guy that threw the flag. I guess you do see that.
And Sherm Lewis told me yesterday, the offensive coordinator of the Vikings, he said one of the problems we've had all year is converting first downs after we have been penalized. They're in that situation now.
2nd and 19. 4 wide receivers on the field. Underneath to Carter. Contact out of bounds, and Chris Carter has his foot in the chest of Kywin Supernaw.
You know what I'm saying? I've been sitting here watching this game and trying to figure out why everything's so dead. Well, Chris Carter, I said we got to go back to him after he caught 101. Here comes Chris Carter on Supernaw. Now, does he hit him? He's coming down. He's stepping out. That's questionable. But what I've seen with the Minnesota Vikings tonight, Joe, is here's a team that came here tonight to get Chris Carter 1,000 catches. And then let's go home. Because they really haven't done much since then.
Better not go home yet. They're only up by 7, and there's plenty of time left. 3rd and 10. 4-man rush. Plenty of time for Culpepper. Now he throws underneath. That's going to be way shy of a first down. Mo Williams made the catch out of the backfield. We said it before, the 1,000th catch for Chris Carter was such an emotional play, not only for Chris Carter, but for the team and the fans here in this building. It was a tremendous celebration.
Yes, New Orleans can deal with success. Jim Haslett will have it no other way.
Stewart. Running room for Stewart to the 19-yard line. Kylie Wong and Ed McDaniel combined on the tackle.
This football team, the Lions, offensively have only scored 1 touchdown when they've started inside their own 20. Keep in mind, the league average is 6.
Well, they need one right here. This drive started at the 12.
Someone forgot to tell the Detroit Lions that they have a lot of people hurt. He hasn't registered with them yet.
Gary Moeller still working on his undefeated streak. Has got some work to do yet.
Stewart caught in the backfield.
Tony Williams.
He is a very quick defensive tackle at 285.
And they got somebody down on the field. And that's Tony Williams. He's down. But you talk about quick. James Stewart, number 34, is going to try to get to the outside. Watch number 94 come through, break the block, and make the tackle.
Beat Tony Semple. Williams out of Memphis has had a tendency to wear down late in ball games because of his weight. 3rd and 5. Cedric Irvin is in. Case. Now he scrambles. Stoney Case, first down and more. Cuts it back inside, gets to the 44. Oh, that was a great move by Stoney Case. Got him another 10.
And that's the difference between Stoney Case and Charlie Batch. Charlie Batch will not break out of the pocket. He doesn't have those type of legs. When I talked to Sly Groom last night, he said, hey, look, if Stoney goes in, he can run, and it'll be a dimension that they won't be ready for. And there it is. Watch the move. I'm not going out of bounds. Tyrone Carter was going to give him a flipper.
And he got nothing but thin air.
Yeah, but Stoney, get out of bounds.
He was a brilliant runner in college, had an exceptional career at New Mexico. Case to throw with a man in his face, incomplete, intended for Morton. And Stoney Case was drilled after he threw it. There's a flag down at that spot. And a huge play. That'll be 15 yards for Detroit.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Blow to the helmet. Number 93 defense. 15 yards.
Randall.
First down.
Blow to the helmet. It really is one thing that they will not tolerate at all. John Randall, 93. Watch this. He hits him in the head. That is an outstanding call. And the official's right there.
You know,
you just can't hit him in the head.
No, you can't. I mean, I think it's a good call, but you have to let quarterbacks take hits, and you have to let defensive linemen be able to play defense. He was airborne. He couldn't stop.
Yeah, but
I'm not a fan of the rule, but you can't hit him in the head.
I agree. I totally agree with that one, but I still think there's some latitude there that an official has to give a defensive lineman.
It's a huge play. They have it 1st and 10 at the 41. Stewart, nowhere to go. James Stewart, 2 plays in a row, has been unable to get back to the line of scrimmage. Jim Nelson and Lemansky Hall led the charge for the Vikings.
Well, that play was stopped right in the hole. It was jammed, and James Stewart had no place to go. Lemansky Hall is number 55. Watch when Stewart, 64, tries to go to the hole. Look at here. It just shut down. There's no place to go. So Kylie Wong, 52, was the guy who was sitting in the hole. Excuse me, Joe. And then Lemansky Hall and others just make the play. That is just terrific.
And Tony Semple, number 62, the left guard, has not done a very good job on the last 2 running plays.
Case with a short set, incomplete, intended for his tight end, David Sloan. And now a huge 3rd and 18 for the Lions.
With 6, almost 7 minutes to go in this game, I don't believe that you try and pick up the first down. What you do is get enough yards, make it a good, safe pass, and then punt it, let your defense go out, and get you 1 more possession.
I don't go with that. Get the first down. I mean, you got these people playing back on their heels. The Minnesota Vikings are in trouble.
But you have to understand, for receivers to run 17, 18 yards, he's going to need some really good protection.
I love it when you guys fight.
I'm not fighting.
Case. Inside the 40-yard line. It'll be 4th and about 9. John Burrow tracked him down. Now you might think about going for it.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're standing on the sideline. The punter is not coming out. The field goal kicker's not coming out.
Well, you're in that in-between area at the 38. Doesn't do you much good to punt it.
They're going for it. First of all, they're going to take a timeout, and then they're going to go for it.
Punt team.
And Denny Green just telling his guys, be alert for any kind of a fake.
John Jett will kick it away sky high. Walters makes the fair catch at the 12. A punt of only 26, but he did his job.
And
seconds to go in the game. Robert Smith. Nice hit by Corwin Brown, and Stephen Boyd helped him out at the 15. This Lions defense under Larry Peccatello has managed to hang in there after being down early. Culpepper, 160 yards. Smith, 72, not bad. Moss has been held to 26 and Carter to 45. And keep in mind, 3/4 of the secondary is out injured. Culpepper. Carter tried to catch it over his other shoulder. Terry Fair on the coverage.
Well, everybody wants pass interference. Terry Fair, just excellent coverage.
they've let him do a lot of contact. We saw it before in a Randy Moss deep pass. Fair comes out, trying to reach for the ball. I think that's an excellent defensive play and a good call by the official.
A little bit of contact, but you got to let him play.
A lot less than we saw on Randy Moss going down the field earlier in the game.
Of course, Chris really works the officials. There's Larry Peccatello. Done a great job for a long time with that Lions defense. Third down, here comes the blitz. Culpepper throws it away. And Minnesota will have to punt. So the decision by Gary Moeller to kick it deep pays off. It's a 3-and-out. Joe Theismann is right again, and I'm really getting tired of it, I tell you.
I mean, it's not me, but when your defense is playing as well as they are, right, Paul? They've tried to kick away from them all night.
And Howard's so dangerous. Nearly got a block on Berger. Berger goes down, no flag. Howard can't get out of the way of special teams. They drag him down. Mo Williams with a great job on coverage from their own 38. Stewart breaks the tackle. James Stewart, first down at midfield. Well, you got to hand it to the Lions. It looked like they were dead to the world. They have just... Case in trouble. John Randall buried him at the 40. But 2nd and 20. Flanker screen. Desmond Howard back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 10. His first catch of the night. Stoney Case had to get rid of it in a hurry. Sacked by Sawyer. Oh.
That's on Stocker McDougal, excuse me. That's the rookie tackle who just couldn't get his feet moving fast enough. And then it's a simple grab and throw down.
Smith, they fake the end around, and Robert Smith. 10, 5, touchdown. That's the backbreaker, 43 yards for Robert Smith, his 2nd touchdown, and he has 115 for the night.
Joe, almost 3 hours ago we said the big play, the Minnesota Vikings, and here it is.
This is the way the Minnesota Vikings have been able to beat people. One big play.
Gary Anderson for the point after.
Watch Robert Smith. They fake the end around to Moss, and then Carter I mean, Robert Smith, just take a look at what he does. You stretch it out, and you want to know how fast he is? That's how fast he is.
Yeah, but we talk about Chris Carter's ability to catch. Watch when Robert Smith breaks back. Look who throws the block out front. That's Chris Carter throwing it on Kewin Supernaw, excuse me. Everything Chris Carter.
Viking fan. Desmond Howard deep to return. Great kick from Mitch Berger. Minute warning, their only chances to stop the clock. Stoney Case. Underneath to Cedric Urban for 9.
And what the Lions need to do is they're going to need more than just nickel and dimes. They're going to have to get 1 or 2 passes in here of 15 yards or more to be able to eat up some of this real estate.
You joined us late. Charlie Batch was hurt early, re-injured his ribs. Case has been on ever since. Urban, another pass underneath out to the 38. Tackled by Kenny Wright.
Switch sides. It takes time. It takes too much time. Line up now in the same formation.
Sloan, the big tight end, gets to midfield. That will take us to 2 minutes. And the first catch. Case with plenty of time. Johnny Morton got it. Now they say he bobbled it. Incomplete at the 3.
Their most dangerous receiver. He goes up to make a play on the ball. Well, you know, I mean, if he'd have been knocked out of bounds, all right, it would have been different. He goes up. Does he have both feet when he comes down? 1, 2. He's got possession.
Yes, he does.
That should be a catch. That should be a catch.
He doesn't come down with both feet in bounds.
But he has possession of it with his left and then his right. I believe he does.
No, he does not.
Okay.
Hit as he throws, complete anyway to Foster. The issue this year, of course, is control. Do you have it in your possession, in control when you come down? There is the director of officiating who visited us earlier tonight, Jerry Seaman.
If you have possession in bounds and then go out of bounds and have the ball bounce away, 2 feet in.
Case in trouble, sacked again back at the 47. Bryce Hawk, who is just coming back from a broken leg, gets only his 2nd sack of the year. 3rd and long. And movement by Stocker McDougal. Trying to pull out a miracle. Under pressure again. Case trying to run for it, slides in at the 40. And that's for the Lions, 4th and 11. Caught! Touchdown, Larry Foster!
Now look at Griffith, number 24. He's waiting in the end zone. Foster just goes up in front of him, basically knocks.
Probably got hurt in the draft because of that, but he's really come on to make some plays for the Lions.
And the Viking fans who are still here can't go home yet. The Lions will try an onside kick. The yellow line you see on your screen, the ball must pass that line before it can be touched by the offensive team.
And also the
illegal kick.
The guys on the kicking team cannot make contact with the defenders in front of that line.
Kick it a little deeper, and Randy Moss, smart play, just knocks it out of bounds. The Minnesota Vikings, with that heads-up play by Moss, who didn't bother to try to catch it and make a play, made the smart play instead, will win their 11th game and will be the first NFL team to make the playoffs. Here's the preseason picks that everybody made. Nobody picked them for first place. The Sporting News 5th, Pro Football Weekly 5th, Sports Illustrated and Street and Smith 4th. ESPN, the magazine, came closest, but they only picked them 2nd. And the Vikings are running away with it in the NFC Central. They will have a 3-game lead on the Lions.
And they've done it the same way every game. 1 or 2 big plays has made a difference for them. A lot different than that 98 team that just rolled up a lot of points on people. This one, I believe, is much better prepared to deal with the playoffs as they get ready to wait for opponents.
It will be a major test next week when they play the St. Louis Rams. Might see a lot of points racked up in that. Chris Carter, over 1,000 catches for his career. Our final score, 24-17. The Vikings win it. SportsCenter is next with all the news, scores, and highlights for our entire ESPN Understand his journey. The road to 1,000 catches was anything but smooth. With the help of family and friends, Carter faced his demons and defeated them. He may have worked tirelessly to become a better player, but he worked even harder to become a better man.
Number 1,000. First quarter, Lions punting. Lamar Campbell tries to save the ball, but the Vikings' Troy Walters catches it and takes it 62 yards to the Lions' 34-yard line. Well, Walters' dad is pretty excited, and you didn't have to look too far to find him. He's the Vikings linebacker coach. Next play, Dante Culpepper looking for Chris Carter. The countdown continues. Career catch number 996. Next play, Culpepper, Carter, 997. Same drive, 3rd and goal. Culpepper, not to Carter, but to Moss. Sets up a 4th and goal, just short of a touchdown. And Moss says, let's go for it, coach. Bryant Westbrook hurt on the play, would not return. 4th and goal, it's Robert Smith. Looked like he lost control of the ball going up, but they signaled touchdown, 7-0 Vikes. Look at it again. Smith, did he have possession? Well, it was ruled a touchdown. The Vikings ran onto the field to kick the extra point, so it couldn't be questioned. Charlie Batch re-injured his ribs. He was gone. Culpepper, Carter, 9-9-8. Later in the drive, 1st and 5 of the 10, Culpepper. Carter, 9-9-9. Next play. First play of the second quarter, and how appropriate. The man, Buddy Ryan, once said, all he does is catch touchdowns. Career reception number 1,000. Vikings stake to a 14-0 lead. Randy Moss gives a nice big hug, and then his family came on the field. His daughter, his son, his wife. Back to the game. 17-3 Vikings. Stoney Case in for Batch. To Larry Foster. Kaylee Wong will pick up the fumble, but the ball was ruled dead. You look at it again, I'll tell you why. Foster clearly fumbles the ball, but because Foster was ruled down by contact, the play is not reversible, and Denny Green is not pleased. After a Lions punt, Vikings deep in their own territory. Culpepper picked off by Alan Aldridge. Takes it back to the Vikings' 10-yard line. Culpepper, 2 interceptions on the evening. The ensuing possession for the Lions, it's James Stewart. And suddenly we have a ball game. Lions down 17-10. Same score late in the 4th quarter, under 5 minutes to play. And Stoney Case, who had plenty of company in the backfield all night long. It's John Randall's turn. 3 plays later, it's 4th and 10. Talent Sawyer gets to know Stoney Case. Vikings get the ball on downs. Marshall Faulk may be the best running back in the game. But you know what? Robert Smith is having a tremendous season. Lost in the shadow of Faulk and maybe Edgerrin James. Vikings go up 24-10. Lions did get a Hail Mary pass for a touchdown late in the final 10 seconds. The Vikings win this one 24-17. Vikings clinch a playoff berth for the 8th time in 9 seasons under Dennis Green. Robert Smith, 5th straight game with a touchdown and at least 100 yards. Chris Carter, 7 catches, including number 1,000 of his Hall of Fame career. Lions are 6-12 in their last 18 trips to the Metrodome. But back to the star of the night, Chris Carter. He spoke with our Solomon Wilcots moments ago.
Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Chris Carter becomes only the 2nd player in NFL history to amass 1,000 receptions. You said this is the only record you've ever chased. Why is that?
I mean, it's unbelievable. It's hard to believe. You know, I can't take credit. It's not something I ever thought I'd be able to do. I mean, glory to God, my health. You know, I can't take credit for it. No man can take credit for it. It's all God.
How important was it that you guys came out? They were looking to get you the ball right away. Were you guys looking to put this thing to rest tonight?
Well, not necessarily the record, but we knew they were giving us some soft coverages. They're getting 8 in the box, so we're going to throw the quick hitch out and get 5 or 6. It's just like a run. It had nothing to do with the record, just the game plan that we have. We typically have that in, especially when we're going against smaller corners. It's an easy way to get us the ball quick.
They say you catch nothing but touchdowns. How fitting was it that the 1,000th reception of your career was a touchdown?
Well, the only thing more fitting than that was being able to be here on ESPN, because Chris Berman, a long time ago, gave me that name, and and I'm thankful for it. People laugh about it, early in my career, but as it's going on, it's kind of stuck with me. And I do tell Chris I do a little bit more than just catch touchdowns.
That's right. You guys clinch a playoff berth tonight, but I understand you guys have other things to take care of in terms of trying to win a championship before you close out a great career.
You got 2 tired football teams, though. You're playing 3 games in 11 days. It's tough. It's tough on the team. They got a lot of injuries. That's what you saw out here today. Tired football teams. We got some time off before we play St. Louis. That's going to be the biggest game of the season. In St. Louis, it's going to be a tremendous challenge because they're a tremendous football team, but we're trying to get home field advantage.
All right, well, thanks for joining us, Chris.
All right, thanks.
So on a record-setting night for Chris Carter, the Vikings become the first team this season to clinch a playoff berth. Now let's send it back to the studio.
All right, Solomon, thanks very much. We also extend our congratulations to Chris Carter on his effort. Joined by Marty Schottenheimer here on SportsCenter. With the Vikings win, they break the tie with Oakland. Minnesota now stands alone, the best record in the NFL at 11-2. And because of that, or is it the other way around, they've got some of the best playmakers in the NFL.
No doubt about it, Steve. And, I'll tell you what, I thought Denny Green was out of his mind when he let Randall Cunningham go and let Jeff George go to bring in a quarterback who had never thrown a forward pass in a National Football League game. But obviously, Denny knew it a lot better than me, and it really came down, as you suggested, to the playmakers that he's got on his football team. Take a look at Robert Smith. One of the finest runs I've seen in a long time, but on the ground, right at the bottom of the screen, great block by Chris Carter. Berman, he in fact does do more than catch touchdowns. Of course, people talk about Randy Moss as a deep receiver all the time, but here he is showing his skills and ability to work the boundary, keep his feet in bounds, and do the things that are necessary to get the big thing done. How about this one? The inside fly route for the 1,000th catch in that career. But this is the guy that's put it all together, the guy who's exceeded anybody's expectations. Big, strong Culpepper. He shows tremendous skills in the pocket. But how about this play? Take a look at this. Well-coached football team. The returner realizes that ball is now a dead ball unless he chooses to take off, and that's exactly what he does. He's on his way, about a 60-yard gain in that particular situation. So, Steve, this football team, there's a reason why they're 11-2. Denny Green, outstanding job this season. The pieces have fit. They're going to go a while.
5th straight playoff appearance for Minnesota. Now they work on home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs. They've won 12 regular season games in a row at the Metrodome. But not to be lost in all the offense and the playmakers is the defensive unit.
I think probably the biggest surprise of the season would be the way this defensive football team is played. I had them ranked like the 4th best football team in that division. But watch here, John Randall making the big sack. Game still only a 7-point differential. But how about Sawyer coming off the edge, reaching around, making the sack. And, of course, ultimately, I think you're going to have to play good defense in the National Football League this year. And Minnesota's defense, far better than I expected they'd be, Steve.
All right, the Lions suffer their first loss so far under Gary Moeller, also their first loss on a Thursday so far this season. Dan, we send it back to you. Pucks now, and if Eric Lindros was watching last night, he might have changed his mind about wanting to play for the Maple Leafs. Toronto blew a 5-0 third-period lead on home ice last night, spoiling a career night for Ty Domi, who had 3 points, and now has scored 1 more goal than superstar captain Matt Sundin. Sundin, who's rumored to be involved in a possible trade for Lindros, was on ice for the last 4 goals against, and last night's overtime loss to the Blues. So off that devastating loss, the Leafs were on Long Island. Yannick Perota, Sergei Berezin, the windup and the shot off Roman Hamrlik's stick, and by Wade Flaherty score the goal to tie it at 2. It's 4-3 in the third. Matt Sundin, the big bomb goes off of Domi and in. Sundin and Domi getting hot at the right time to tie it at 4. Later in the third, out in front, Steve Thomas the chance. Matt Sundin on the rebound by Flaherty. 7th of the year for big Mats. 5-4 Leafs. They add the empty netter. Leafs win their 5th straight at Nassau Coliseum. Is that Domi or Yager who scored 6 goals in the last 5 games? Ty, the sniper, has 8 goals now on the season. Toronto had just 1 shot on goal in the first period, and Domi had it.
To Carolina for the Hurricanes and the Flyers. Paul Maurice and the Canes can pull their record to 500 with a win. Ronnie Francis, great pass. Sammy Kapanen right in front. Roman Czechmanek complains, and Kapanen says deal with it. Although the replay shows Kapanen turns his skate, deflects the puck into the net. May have been a kick, but ruled a goal. Kapanen's 5th, Carolina up 1-0. Former Hurricane Keith Primo. Great move at the blue line. David Tanabe hustles back to poke it away. Primo and the Flyers denied. Hurricanes win this one by a 2-0 count. Flyers had dropped 3 of their last 4. In their last 7 wins, the Hurricanes have given up just 4 goals, outscoring the opposition 18-4, including 3 shutouts.
Wild in the Coyotes' second period was scoreless. Scramble in front. Ossi Vananen shot deflected. It just squeaks by Manny Fernandez. Take a look. The puck hits Fernandez's skate and goes in. 1-0 Coyotes. Still in the second. Wild power play. 3-on-1. You rarely see that. And the stop by Robert Esch. Jacques Lemaire says he had to bury the 3-on-1. Late in the second, Wyatt Smith to Mike Sullivan knocks it home. Coyotes' 5th shorthanded goal of the season. They have a 2-0 lead in that one. 2-0 is your score for now. Minnesota 3-1-1 in their last 5.
Were you pausing for effect there?
Yes, I was. Looking for the F for final. Still to come on the show.